and we all lived tragically ever after. Painted nails, silver timepiece ticking, zip tied blue wrists and reinforced basement set deep. A waxy earpiece falls from an agent's braided brown wig into Stilton and broccoli soup. Shoot the sparrow, skin the fox for kicks. Knicker draws wine for finer times, now buried beneath brutal batterings at the palm of the starlet's pamperer. Idiotic idols smile from a dotted line, slithering like something alive and slowly growing inward. Win yourself a dazzling revolving sports car, it will spread across the rest of us. Go to ruin, we will stand aside and look on, cheering in the bosom of a respectable circle of acquaintances. From war zone to second home plantation, at the base of an ultimate ski destination. Calipers clanking along catwalks, luscious ladies lashed across backless ballroom gowns. And all day they dreamt of silhouettes, and all day they dreamt of silhouettes. Deathly respectable neighborhoods, folds and folds of vacant buildings, bellies as empty as tombs, dusty brown stone homes and walls of moaning old masters. A stone statue stands alone and bored stiff in the trim grounds of a manor house, now private care home. Wade your way through the crimson grey canteen to the slab stone driveway. Tense timber strips frame the perspective, they'll run you through with their own strip lights as Piccadilly Circus flinches. Fountains freeze and trees ponder the erratic clientele. The smell of some frankly gruesome and pricey piss-coloured liquid in a heavy glass container bounces about the belly of an arched bridge in perfect time with the worn-down stiletto heels click. Echo, echo. Enormously yellowed reproductions of a Gustav Klimt skim their way across the raging undercurrent and up onto the wet boardwalk. The torn mist flung viciously about the blunted tips of glassy cold structures, a lot like dead white acrylic. Warm milk and codeine, the sound of crocodile crown circulating a lost bedroom forever. Even redder and redder the sky turned, it seemed impossible. A plump puff of smoke bobs across my eye level as the roofing for the civilian barracks caves in on themselves. Sedate them with chat show, buzzy facial perfections. An indigestibly tragic suicide slides by unnoticed, a sort of image of stillness reflecting all things. A little middle-aged Caucasian lady in a dress that doesn't quite hang right begins to dance with an imagined partner. It's all depicted more or less untruthfully. The snow thrown about erratically sits sticky neath the inner city orangey glow, perpetually throbbing all the while. The stifled sobbing of rotting and weary woodlands slams the revolving doors leading to a cavernous guarded and well-mopped lobby. The magistrate shakes the hand of the hangman, masked in a material traditional and dark, armed with a bottle of cognac and clearly cold niceties. What of us, now really mechanical, blushing a terracotta tone, sewing the ulterior motives we conjure so tightly. Wine-stained teeth and cheese sticks gulp down greedily between wheezy intakes of oxygen. Gutter or palace, a banistered staircase, the thread breaks as we all slump slack and free. Desperately blank, varying varieties of vacancy. Courtyards smoulder as the bullets chip away unknowing. Wildlife photographs on a plaster prison wall and a purple pair of leather gloves in a first-class carriage, floating in a tepid puddle of creamed coffee. A mound of mascara melts down into the profile of a stranger at a door to get to know. The horrors hide in the inner linings of the little things, velvet and expensive enough for us to take the plunge blindly. The coiling sprawl of the spluttering traffic stuck stationary, steaming stupidly through the hoarfrost which left nothing unfeathered, as have palm proportioned plastic electronic blocks with soft rubber buttons, puckered eyes, puckered lips and striptease for Her Majesty's chambermaids. Drain the colour from the triptych and present it with a new lick of the old-fashioned tints, and it all looks worse now than when we first thought it ugly. People die the same everywhere, you're no rarity. Hot tub, cardiac arrest, a flute filled with pink champagne. Hairy overhanging gut speedos and yawning throats or cozy snooze. As hopeless as rain-drenched election posters, pale blue, stony sky. A massive sense of absence, confusingly cluttered by black ribbons and religious routines. A ripped theatre ticket swimming in brandy. Darkness creeps up in whiskey brown wispy shadows. Clouds of cologne and buffered black shoes, too clean to kick back the hallucinogenic qualities to pre-Raphaelites brightly coloured landscapes. Takes a hold of the weathered window frame, utterly void of any buoyancy. Two family cars parked on parade. Crown silver crucifixions in suburbia and epiphanies in dreary penthouse apartments. A secretary parts her legs, the bruised angel beats his wings in synchrony to the wailing shame. A blood-stained plain white shirt hovers past the pot plants as the intern gives a glassy glance, then gets to work, burning the belly of the Frankie machine. Terribly beige after-shaven screensavers. A man fills the doorway with a gun in his hand and a rope around his neck, uttering wise and wondrous words of which he knows that next best to nothing. The weeds will win and the king will turn to stone. Cellophane wrapped sentiment sweeping pedestrianised paved streets. Fantastically faded yearbook, bleached teeth, gelled hair, a subtle switching of suitcases. Master the art of cheating, you'll be needing little else. We're heading way west to fall asleep. Pretentious parties in porter cabins, courts pop into the clouds of phony cackling. Outside nature's wrapped up, snug by countless cables to the gallows. Those with tough palms, so predictably just below average. Have your passes ready for inspection and your eyes prized open for the Fleming. Clean canary wharf walks the plank with her fist full of folding money and cocaine. Balaclava drama surrounds a kitsch kiosk of forgotten champions. The queue stakes its way over the pavement past the manhole cover and round the street corner. Daughters of convenience, sons of slaughter, slow dance upon the bloody floor of the town hall. We all could have been great, take the vouchers home and say something. There's scandal stirring in the cloisters, the musky smell of the pews, dangerously dense and disturbed. Say nothing, stay still, they all understand the shrill of the motorway, persistently violent. A wink across a crowded bar, drowning in drinks the same colour as dying foreign flowers, bedded in pot. A deputy for the aging ties his bootlaces tight while reciting his final speech. Something about deep cuts and salty morals, borrowed from a snoozing neighbour. Articles skimmed in haste, fake teeth and expensive coats, quilting, broken friendships. Ladder the delicate skin of the sky, grey Pile it all under appallingly depressing, then begin penning those punchlines. We knew just how to look rustic, sitting amidst the clinically cut quadrangles and bold brick walling. A desperate existence, so smooth. Desperate existence, so smooth. A desperate existence, so smooth, so smooth. So smooth we fit into the collage of vulnerable creatures reaching through the pulp glue and glitter. Skin products erupt from fabulous fountains, singing insanely of distant free leisure. A lavish arch frames a dark suit, sharply tailored and hurtfully unimaginative. The fasting of the leisure classes in a deflating status, dancing on scorched walkways. The after dark retail park rank giveaway begins in the outskirts of the ghost towns. The cloakroom hangers clatter and chime. The busy time is over, the illness it is close now. A curtsy and a nervous bow exchanged on the drainage gutter. Third floor story car park in the arcades. Amazing self-combustion, plus something about the vast expanse of discontent, bathing in the muted shade of the empty looming luxury apartments, gazing down in disgust. Go ahead and tell me it'll all be okay. Unattended baggage delays in the globe's most expensive hotel room overdose. A swarm of witnesses sewn silent by blood blue bows. Members only second floor bars full of families consistently talking of murder. The only art that remains today is marketing. The lost legionnaire and the impotence of male perfection stir the plot while knotting bedseats together in yet another doomed attempt at freedom. Watch over the broken town and cry tons of tears collecting in Christmas streams. Sold on as confetti, hands like yours weren't meant for cradling half-price fashion line fabrics or broody bullet point celebrity tried and tested recession-proof franchises. Minicab drivers and politicians listening to the richest of voices moving about the long dining table. The middleman is the busy man. Expect the rest to expect too much. You and I are blindingly unimportant. Make-believe communists pissed at rich kids' house parties. No love, no war, no me, no January sales stampede. The few are feasting on our farm failings. The perfect price for you. Prancing on a bug telephone. The sniper takes aim and steadies his stance. Life jackets lined with lead, warmed by dreadfully delicious wives driving 4x4s. The razor-lined envelope lies unopened on the doormat, biding its time. There's really no need for haste. Police high-speed chase TV programs. Worry not, it's all going to be perfectly amazing. And it is like this forever. Sellotape to the lampposts, casting ghost-like shadows of the yellowed missing messenger pigeon please in weeping thick nib, black and green felt tip writing. The chiseled or Caucasian saves the day again, trickling orders from the top floor to the tattered front line. It's the dawn of the toe-tag trapeze artists and quick-witted womanizers. You and I are a customer reference number, only some aren't today. Key the figures for us, paint the rich parts of town and keep their trees green. Quite clearly insane seem the last face ever to be seen on wavering screens before the setting sun, horseshoed and orange eye. Had to admit it did look rather remarkable. The burial of all importance perhaps, or a heavily taxed holiday snap in a shoebox, forgotten in the loft of a semi-detached mortgage. Visions of victory seen in hand-waxed polished car bonnets and deal-breaking golf swings. Urinating in the recruitment office's water cooler will never lose its huge amount of humorous boxes ticked. Frozen supermarket aisles gobble up the flower beds, while in the betting shop's arms implore the horses something soon is going to happen. The most trusted brands have the most ads, and the concept of saving while you shop has got me lost completely. Punch those numbers, eat the calculator, we're all washed out, watered down, cut up and counting the cavities till there's nothing to see but cement mixers, cranes piercing the smog and hard hats. Let's wonder who's playing whom like we don't already know the answer. Health, vitality and well-being. Life is a pessimistic play upon purity that's never had a real world girl look at him as lustfully as they do through the shop windows. 10-foot tall, pretty face with cat's eyes, skin to die for and a terrible air of dread. Welcome to the weekend-themed radio show, throwing out the sounds of good times in distant places. A Vogue photo shoot in the post-blitz rubble reports back with raucous success so sexy. Finishing your novel alone down in Cornwall. High hopes of a book deal and a charming chat show appearance. A forgettable cruise comes to a close somewhere close enough to somewhere worth seeing from a sun lounger, with a novelty umbrella in all the curdling colourful cocktails, nice china lineage biscuits and purple perm hair hilarious. A found old poem composed a while ago, another new and wholly unconvincing truth just threw itself off a brick bridge to explode in promotional colours. Block red and all the rest as bold and bright as can possibly be purchased. Is this relevant to a growing list of honours on a wood-finished wall above a safe with its locks blown in, and its contents left there sat sulking, feeling undervalued? A trust of variance mistress pens a manifesto on an old typewriter, chain-smoking menthols in a dressing gown and high heels, downtown penthouse. How many steps to trudge before divinity passes you on the stairwell? Here, everything still sinks. A potent sense of isolation, a grotesque parody. One blink will miss whatever one's informed it did do. Now gobble, grimace, go digest. We have the blessings from the council. Corporate social responsibility means sushi canteen, fresh smoothies and free broadband while at work for all employees, and please don't feed the buskers. There was nothing we could do, so we didn't bother trying too hard. Talking like that, you'll be running the country soon, and who'd notice a darn thing? Threatened by an office development, the woods whimper with night terrors and visions of battered forms out the back by the fire escape. Taking cigarette break after break, the newsreel escapes into the feature film and kills the vibe completely. Countless dates are ruined, popcorn strewing all about the empty screening hall, and kind of all because card chasers face extinction. Decency dines on a doner kebab, staggers home and slaps the nearest thing breathing. I don't know what wild bravado drove me to leave the calm without myself armed with a sharpened stick, humming the obsolete top 10 of February 14th, 1966. Duct tape the wolf-like mouth with a gothic gargoyle. I guess we're essentially an unnecessary blemish. The prodigal son returns, and so another boy band reforms to the delight of the adoring disciples. Cling wrapped craniums and bee-sting breasts heaving in tune to the soon-to-be buried again regurgitated formula. A bouquet of flowers stolen from a graveside saves a rocky relationship and instigates a very nearly great night of trying time. Is this honestly it? Caravaggio throws a drunken punch at the outspoken amateur artist. Out of envy, the clouds clear and the beer breath hangs heavier than ever before. Really quite sleepy now, back of black cab breakups, happy hour casualties. How the blossom bounces on the breeze seems precious enough. A simmering fury, an outright unpleasant growl with an inner lining, the shade of unending suffering. Manifestos are only ego and overgrown with adjectives. Gang raped by a pack of celebrity chefs as the cholesterol counters sneak a peek through the clinical holes in the erect cheese grater by the chopping board. Plenty of despair to go around, you'll get your share. The bare light bulb assures it. Never any one man's fault. I get my gossip from over shoulders. Run for your life, your livelihood, your good and proper burial and all those additionals. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with anything, and a lot of time is spent in stupidity. A mountain-sized podium with no victory jig on top. Upper middle class hippies passing the time in floral wine bars and organic cafes. A simple sketch used to exemplify the use of perspective lives on forever as a long line of leotards, each running faster on the spot than their neighbour. For a few seconds you nearly felt free. For a few seconds then the grass sang for you and you alone. Dead men colour-coding spreadsheets and lonely moments of disappointment, decomposing dreams of delightful false dawns, physical and social appearances and fame. An empty plinth sinks in a sea of raging metaphors. Arm in arm we leapt into the growingly turbulent Thames. For a tiny moment then we looked like a precious chain before we broke through an awareness of limits. A promenading cast of fading sparks, all burnt and silver. The brand consultancy team shared their dreams of creamy white isolation in a brainstorming session. Perfect for its poisonous purity, the private investigator fakes his own death before an industrial backdrop. The lonely crowd hug harder and harder in desperate longing, suffocating the warmest flesh first and working outward. Children choking on competitive price quotes under a smoky tan projection of paradise. No need for a life, only a definition. And so the globe stood still, as plump with promise as pieces. The leaves turn in a shimmer of possibilities, and the weather girl stayed smiling the entire time. An invitation to the dethroning of the daytime telly starlet remains unanswered. Posing for posterity by a wheelie bin in central London, someplace 100,000 blue-eyed bankers, heaving public houses and stylists dishing out effortless beauty, an enviable sense of style and a winning smile in Celebville, pills dissolving in effervescing spring water. Spare a prayer for passion and the ashes of those witches we've casted. Forgive us for we've nothing to lose when we've pulped all the money we've stolen. What then? Time to realise quite how alone we've all been. What sort of a cheerful chapter were you hoping for? Poor me with my propaganda. This in its entirety is a needlessly long and dreary outro. You are replaced and will be forgotten like notions shared over duck pate. Shot in the fold of his shoulder blades by a stagehand. The one to watch drops off the middle of our fine balance. Let's go to town on this one. One could hardly have less respect for experience. Quite seriously over-pampered. Another favourite place soon to be successfully ruined. Beliefs based on a bed of fears. Manipulative nonsense. Granted the all clear as the megaphone smears the claustrophobic carriage and the protests pass by in a whisper. The red carpet's filthy and the press all dressed in fishnet tights. The soot took no prisoners, dense patches of powdery blackness. Only watch what's nominated for an award and save yourself a falling petal from you know not what. of rain now, and the grey is growing deeper. Pessimism is persistent as the siren silencing your 35% promotion. You can keep it, sell your company on the cheap and go live with your family where the water runs clean. A burning Che Guevara t-shirt and a lamb's heart in the jaws of a dumb tourist, just as dumb as you, so don't insult their intelligence. The chauffeur awaits downstairs for years, nothing to see behind the mahogany and posthumous publications piled in pyramids beside an ironing board. Your lord won't free you, the beauty to be